Okay, so for this video, this isn't my first video, and it's mainly about seeing if my ideas in trading are correct and not, and my risk management. Because I'm not going to be right all the time, and I'm trying to take this a little more seriously since I made some money, and I need to see what I'm doing wrong, and when I am wrong, I don't want to lose too much money. And if I'm right, I want to make a lot of money. If that makes any sense. And my trades are kind of long term. Like I don't day trade or do any of that because that's way too hard. Even looking on a daily time frame is too much for me honestly because I get like a daily time frame is like too little. Like I try and look on monthly, not monthly, but like on a month to month basis, like, do I think it's going to go up like a quarter basis, sometimes a weekly basis, just to see where I'm getting at. But I try not to predict what will happen on the weekly, but recently I've been looking at shorter time frames. So I'm just playing around with it and I'm trying to time the tops better and the bottoms better. Yeah, so this is kind of just like a documentation to see where I'm at, and I'm gonna post on YouTube just because I'm doing nothing for these 2 months. So this will give me something to do. So yeah, the I don't trade too many things. I only trade Bitcoin. I don't even trade Bitcoin. I only trade Ethereum, and I've been trading Ethereum for like only for like a year basically. So I made a lot of money off of Ethereum. There is one other thing I trade, and that's tech stocks. So like any type of tech stock I'll trade sometimes, but only in very particular situations. And I don't trade that. I just play around. Like I don't do any serious stuff with tech stocks. But I don't trade anything else. But I do look at other stuff just to see what Ethereum will do and what some of the tech stocks that I trade will also do, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna make like two two statements, and I'm gonna try and position myself for those two statements, and then I'm gonna check back and see if I was actually right or not. And I don't have much evidence for my case besides like a gut feeling, honestly. Just terrible, right? But there's also I watch a bunch of people, and I think I try and culminate all their ideas and get like oh like because there's a bunch of respectable people who push their ideas, and I'm like, oh, he's kind of going off the deep end here, but this is good. Or like, oh, this person is usually wrong, but I'm actually think that this is kind of valid. Stuff like that, right? So the culmination of that stuff is kind of my base case for these two statements. So the first one is a bearish Q3. And September, I think, is going to be bad. September specifically, when in September, I don't know. But I'm trying to get out in like sometime this week, honestly. Because I have a bunch of Ethereum. I'm trying to sell 2/3 of my position in Ethereum. But I'm trying to time it well. But I am honestly pretty scared. And some of the reasons for a bearish end is Benjamin Cowan has been pushing for a bearish September, and he's presented a lot of evidence that I'm not going to present. But I kind of am thinking he might be right. And then the second one is seasonality, and I'll look at the charts a little bit. So this is kind of my bias, honestly. This is probably not going to happen because I'm not that smart, but like I'm not a trader also. I just kind of look at stuff and I'm like, this is what the vibes are. But like if we were to look, this is like when Ethereum went to its complete lows and people were like calling for like a sub 1000 Ethereum. I remember this well because I lost a bunch of money here. But I didn't sell, fortunately. But like when this happened, like if you look at this push, there's like no pushback. You see what I mean? Like we go up and then we just stay up for a while. Like we have a pullback in time, we stay up, RSI cools, stuff like that. Then we have another one, right? But this push up is a lot bigger than this push up, right? So this is what I mean. I don't do like trading stuff, but I would say this is like more momentum. Like momentum's getting even more positive on Ethereum here, right? And then now maybe there's like some accumulation, right? This is 100% manipulation, right? Baiting people for buying in the next run, right? Then we actually dip. Like people who bought here probably sold here, right? And then, what is this, right? Probably just making people scared and stuff like that. Then we have our actual run up. But this run up is even larger than this run up, which is even larger than this run up, right? So the momentum on Ethereum here is crazy, right? Then we like slightly go up, then we have another scare, then we have this run up, right? But if you look at this run up, like 3,300 to, so this is like 1,500, right? This, I mean, if we go like here to here, this will be like 2,400. Like this is also 1,500. And if you do it from here, this is like more than 1,500. It's like 1,700. But whether you want to do it like that or not doesn't really matter. But it's like the momentum here is definitely fading. And like this, like, in my opinion, let me take away this, honestly. In my opinion, these are just lines. Like they can obviously break, but I'm not like a professional. But like here, what my kind of base case is that smart money is selling like here. I'm banking. Do I move this? I'm banking on like another here, and I'm kind of hoping that like we go up, maybe push back, then we like break above this, like a false breakout, kind of like this, right? Kind of looking for like this. It's like a false breakout here, then we dump to like 3,000s and scare a bunch of people, right? Because if you look at the news for Ethereum, the news is so bullish. The news is actually like the exact opposite of here. But if you listen to the news here, you would have missed out on this entire run. And I'm kind of guessing if you listen to the news now, you're gonna feel pain when this drop happens. I speculate that this drop is gonna happen, right? It's not guaranteed, but it's definitely my base case. So like I think smart money is selling here, and I think they're gonna manipulate the price up and then dump. And then a lot of people will lose that way, since a lot of news articles are pushing very bullish content for Ethereum. And here I think dumb money is buying. That's kind of my base case. I think dumb money is buying these dips, like, oh, we're dipping like higher lows, stuff like that. Higher highs, higher lows, we're gonna break up. Like I kind of think that's what dumb money is doing, and could be wrong, honestly. Like I'm not saying that this is 100%. What the heck is that? I'm not saying it's 100% gonna break to the downside, but I really do have like if we were to dip back here and then have like our final leg up, I think that would be very, very probable or logical. And if we just keep going up, right? Like we went up here, no news. We went up here, no news. We went up here, stuff started happening for Ethereum, honestly. Like I saw some articles, but then we went up here and there's so much news articles. So I really don't think we're gonna go up again, because that means the majority of people will win, right? But there are like some short things like CME shorts and stuff like that. So technically if the CME shorts is like still huge, maybe we could have another run up, because like here people were shorting Ethereum, but here I think the shorts have to get liquidated unless they're like tripling down, because they were shorting here and then I think they doubled down here. But it's like if they triple down, like you have to get liquidated at some point. And if they don't get liquidated, maybe the shorts are like hedges, right? Maybe they have like the ETFs and then they short it on the CME or something. They do like some arbitrage. I don't really understand that, but you see what I'm saying, right? And I think so like, if we look at this, I think this is actually similar to this. So I don't think we get this run up in Ethereum. I think we just experience a capitulation, because I think we'll just experience a capitulation here. And then this is kind of like this. I think this right here is just a better version of this. And kind of what Benjamin Cowan said was like, this was like the summer that we experienced the run up, then like a pullback in time. Then this was September, right? So we went up early in September, then we had a terrible September. And there's a bunch of other examples where September was pretty bad, Then this would be like November, like the November euphoria, like altcoins and stuff are doing good then. So what I'm kind of feeling is the same thing, right? Like we just keep like doling up, but then eventually like maybe a false breakout up or something like that, and then we dip pretty low. Now, I am pretty concerned, like I do think like there is a chance that we could just make like I'm not gonna rule out this possibility, but like we could just definitely go like this, honestly. And it is possible, but it's not my base case. And if this does happen, I'm just gonna hold my Ethereum, right? Because the one thing that I'm pretty stubborn about is like a bullish November. Like I think November, maybe December, maybe October, but I'm pretty sure that November will be like a really good month. And it's just seasonality, like it's 2025 versus 2021, right? Like like there's a lot of similarities, so there's no reason why we won't have a bullish November, honestly. So like if this happens, I'll just hold, right? But if we keep making like higher, like if we keep following this pattern and have like a false breakout, I'm selling, honestly, because I don't want to sell here because like here to here is I would lose a lot of money, honestly, but I don't think it's worth risking the run up. But it's like if I go to like 5,100, 5,000, 4,900, like this little area, then like we've been up for so long. Like eventually there's gonna be like some type of scare, right? So it's like if we're at 5,100, it's like when is the dip gonna happen, right? I've already made a bunch of money, so I should sell, reset my positions, and then buy back in when it dips because I really do think it's gonna dip. Whether it's gonna be like a lower thing, and I am playing risky, honestly, because I am kind of banking on this like higher high, higher low thing to keep going on. But we'll see, because it's like this. Like if you look at this, like look at the RSI here, look at it here, look at it here, like it is dying. Like eventually this I feel like is just gonna break down, and that's when we'll go to like 3,300, 3,500. It doesn't really matter, right? Something in the 3,000s, right? Like maybe this supply right here will hold it, or maybe we'll have a like a scarier dip. Doesn't really matter, right? To the 3,000s. But yeah, that's kind of my idea of what will happen on Ethereum. I'm not. I am kind of attached to it, but I'm trying to make sure that if I'm wrong, I don't lose too much money, which I'm not good at, honestly. Because like here, well, I don't want to talk about my trades, but like I bought some Ethereum here because I thought like 3,000 was the low. Then I bought it again here. Then I bought it again here, right? And then when it went here, I was like super depressed, right? I was like, bro, I was like, no shot, I'm wrong, right? But then I kind of was right because I made like this document about like all the possible narratives that could drive Ethereum up, and of course they're happening now. But it's like I didn't know that was gonna happen when I was here, right? Which which is why like even trading on larger time periods is even harder because you don't know when and where stuff will happen, honestly. And that's even more true for short time periods, unless you're like a genius. But I'm not a genius, right? I'm just an idiot who likes playing with money. But yeah, that's kind of my base case for Ethereum. I just wanted to put it out there and then check in if I'm right or something like that. Because this is getting a little bit scary, in my opinion. Like, like I feel like this is just sucking up a lot of like dumb people buying, and I really do want to get out, but I really do think that 4,500 isn't it for me, right? Like 4,900, 55,000, 5,100, that's it for me, right? I'll sell 2/3 of my position and I'll keep 1/3 so I can keep the pain when it drops. When it drops, I'll be like, oh, this sucks. And then that's kind of when I'll buy back in. Like I'll buy back in when my emotions are pretty low off of keeping the 1/3. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, my money, stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of my Ethereum base case. And then the one for I do have one more trade, and that's on a firm, and I think it's there is some weird stuff going on with the firm, honestly. I didn't put that much money in it. I'm just kind of playing around. But I do think this is like forming a volatility contraction pattern on the daily, and they have earnings. And if you look at their earnings, like, okay, here wasn't as good, but it's like there was still kind of like a run up, but again, not that good, right? But like here, there was a huge run up. Here, there was a huge run up. Here, there was a spike up. So it's like you take these four, and three out of the four were really good. And then this one was, I mean, I don't know if you bought here and you could have gone and scared here, or you could have sold here, or you could have sold here, or you could have sold here. I would say this is kind of like a neutral, but three were good, right? And then if you go back, like this is, I don't know, this isn't like if you bought here anticipating for this run up, you maybe neutral is slightly down. This is up, right? If you like buy over here and you're like, oh, they have earnings soon, this run up would be good. This, this is like, I don't know, because this is kind of like a longer hold, and but this is good. You see, so it's like all of their earnings are pretty good. So it's like there's a volatility contraction pattern forming on the daily. It's pretty much knocking on $80. Like if it breaks above 80, I think something like this will happen. I don't know how to create like a fractal, but like this is kind of it's not really, but like I think like a spike up will happen, and then maybe it like doles up and then maybe drops again, right? Drops again in September, right? But what I'm thinking is like a spike up, few daily candles up, and then like a larger drop in September, because I think a lot of stuff will drop in September. But that also, like, is Nvidia in earnings going to be good? Is it going to be bad? My bias is up, but who knows, right? I'm definitely playing this a little bit more riskier, and I could get burned. And if I do get burned, that's that, honestly. But it's fun at the end of the day. I just have to learn from it and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the two things that I'm mainly looking at. I'm not looking at anything else. I was looking at Bitcoin a little bit. Yeah, because Benjamin Cowan has been saying that Bitcoin will hit the bull market support band, and I'm like, it's kind of there already. So it's like Bitcoin looks pretty bad. Honestly, it kind of looks to be mirroring like this move here. If you were to ask me, like not 100%, but kind of like, I don't know, consolidation. Maybe this went up, but this just was like consolidated. This dropped. Then you have like this versus this. Then you have this drop versus this drop. But the bias is pretty negative in September. So I'm thinking maybe we have like a larger drop. Like I'm kind of thinking like 90. I'm thinking high 90s, honestly. And I think like this supply here will pick up, or this supply here will pick it up, or like this low, it'll like match this low, and then it will go like super parabolic to like 140ish. That's kind of my that's kind of my base case, but it really is just speculation. But like I don't know, like crypto really doesn't really follow the rules, honestly. Honestly, a lot of stuff doesn't follow the rules. So it's like this kind of looks bad, but maybe it's good. Who knows, right? But just because of seasonality and stuff like that, my bias is pretty negative in September. I know some people are thinking that there won't be a good November and there won't be a good December, and that September will be like the final leg, and it does have some validity to it, but it's like if we look at Ethereum, like I don't think Ethereum will keep going up, right? I think Ethereum will have a pullback, right? And it seems most painful for Ethereum to have a pullback. So it's like looking at Bitcoin, like Bitcoin is not going to go up and then Ethereum drops. So that doesn't make any sense. So it's like Bitcoin probably has to drop in September, then do like the euphoric run, like kind of like this, and in November of this year. That's kind of my guess, but I'm not 100% sure on it. Just a guess. I'm not doing any leverage. I only do spot because if I get burned, it's not terrible, and I do longer term position trades, right? So it's like let's say I'm wrong and we drop here, like I'm pretty sure I'll be right about a good November. It's just like it's all about odds, right? So it's like when I buy here, when I buy here, when I buy here. Obviously, I was wrong when it went down here, but I eventually was right. Right? I was talking about. There was a bunch of stuff, but treasury companies were one thing I was thinking about. The Pectra upgrade, stuff like that. Like there's a bunch of Catalyst stablecoins I was talking about too, since Ethereum dominates that and decentralized finance. I think the next narratives for Ethereum will be staking ETFs, and then there's an upgrade scheduled for Ethereum on November. I think it's going to get pushed back to like January, but people are going to anticipate it and then pile into Ethereum. That's kind of my base case, but I do think we are due for a pullback, and the fact that there still exist narratives that can push Ethereum up. I am gonna be a little bit greedy, and I want to sell my bag at like 5,100, 5,000, because then it's like we came here from 1,400 basically, and now we're at like 5,100 if it gets there. Like, definitely sell and then wait for a pullback because it's not gonna go straight up, right? Because it's like you have to have a plan. You have to be like, okay, how high is this gonna go? Is it gonna go to 20K? No, it's not gonna do that, right? So you can go to 10K, maybe, but I'm not gonna bet my bank account on it, right? Like you have to buy stuff people are pretty, when people are like shitting themselves, right? Like I was shitting myself here, and I had a bunch of Ethereum, right? And I thought I was like, I'm gonna have to prepare myself for below 1,000, right? But I never went below 1,000, and now it's at 4,500, right? So it's like, yeah, just stuff like that. This is my main base case that I'm looking at. Hopefully I get out. Hopefully Ethereum hits like 5,100 before it drops. If it doesn't, then I'll just stomach the drop, right? Because like going from 5,100 to 3,500 or 3,300, I feel like it's a lot harder than going from 4,500 to 3,000 or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and I could be wrong, and it just runs up to an all-time high, and it just keeps going up and up and up, right? But if that happens, right, I already made my money, right? I don't need to be even more greedy and hope for something like that, right? So yeah, these are my base cases, and I'll review them later, like in a week or two. And when I sell my Ethereum, I might make a video about that. Yeah. So yeah, that's it. If you actually watch this, thank you. That's actually crazy, honestly. Oof. I need to stop the video now.